Good afternoon. My name's Erica. I'll be facilitating the meeting. We can go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Kyle.
I'm Ivan.
Tom.
Stevie.
All right. So the goal of this meeting is going to be to discuss the problems faced by Bowers Machine Parts and develop a plan to decrease their turnover. So basically, the way that we're going to go about this is we're going to all introduce the problems that we think they're having, and then we're going to define and analyze those problems. And then we'll establish some criteria that we feel that all of our solutions need to meet. And then after those criteria are established, we'll probably have 2 to 3 of those. We'll generate some possible solutions and then evaluate them and which ones we think are the most feasible, and then we'll conclude. So to begin, Bowers Machine Parts is having some trouble, and they have called on us, an HR firm, to kind of define the problems and figure out how we're going to fix it. So what are some of the specific problems that you guys feel exist?
I believe since the change in leadership, since they're having an increase in personnel and training costs, there are a lot of high turnover rates, and we need to get those down so that employees are satisfied with their jobs and work harder to increase production rates.
Also, I agree with that. And in the workplace, used to be more friendly, family-oriented when her father was the CEO. But now that she's there, she didn't like the family-oriented style, so kind of drifted the other way.
So one of the problems that people don't really feel like at home like they used to.
Yeah, a lot of people left also.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a communication problem between Heather and her management. So I feel like she needs to work on her communication skills.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's changed what she's done in every way possible. She's taken away amenities and benefits, and she's overturning management decisions, and that goes directly with the communication. And
right. Another problem is
not
that
there.
Another problem is that a lot of the long-term employees are quitting, and so those are kind of the people that you thought you were going to depend on and always have around. And if they're not there anymore, then who do the new employees have to look up to? So next, we should analyze these problems and basically just decide which one we think we should focus on. Basically, which one is broad enough to where it will solve most of the smaller problems as well. So what do you guys think after hearing all of this?
I believe that the high turnover rate is increasing our costs, which is going to decrease the company's profitability as a whole. So I think that we need to focus on keeping our employees so that we don't have turnover and have to keep retraining people for these positions.
Anyone else?
I agree with that, and it comes with like a combination of a lot of them, but mainly the turnover. We got to focus on that. So,
yeah.
What do we change to focus on the turnover?
Right.
Because they're not just leaving; they've got reasons to leave.
Right. So, we think that if we decrease employee turnover, then this will basically solve most of the other problems, not necessarily all of them.
Yeah.
But first, we have to figure out how to fix that problem. All right. So next, we want to establish some criteria, and this is basically going to be 2, 3, 4 things that we feel all of our solutions should meet, and from that, we'll pick the best solution. So this criteria can be a timeline, a budget, different things like programs that we can implement, anything like that. So any suggestions?
I feel like if you do anything, you should improve employee employee happiness.
Yeah.
So that way it would decrease the turnover rates.
Right. Yes. So how could we do that? Like what we need to really, because criteria is supposed to be really specific. So increasing employee.
We can focus on giving them incentives for, say, the employee produces X amount of parts or whatever it is that they do. Say they reach a certain goal, they get rewarded for that. like either in,
Yeah.
just in some way.
Yeah, that can
Oh,
go into
okay.
solutions.
Okay.
So increasing employee satisfaction. Anybody else? What about like a timeline? How quickly do we want to get this done?
Could be at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, end of the
quarterly.
quarter, definitely as soon as possible, because obviously we're experiencing lower profitability because all of these increasing costs.
Solutions.
I agree. I agree. Okay, let's try to get one more. What about?
We can try to do it at a low cost.
Yeah, at a low, because especially if some of our solutions are going to be implementing these incentive things we do, that does come with a cost. So what number would we want to put on it?
What do y'all think?
Somewhere between
5 to 7,000? Sure. Let's keep it under 7,000. All right. So the criteria that we have is we want our employees to be satisfied. We want to do it by the end of the quarter, and we want to do it at a low cost under $7,000. Everybody cool with that?
Yep.
All right. Sounds great. Next, we need to generate some possible solutions. So basically, we could just kind of spit out what we think, and then after we'll go back and evaluate and see if they meet all the criteria. So I know earlier you said
Like an incentives program?
incentives program.
I agree with that. Definitely an incentives program. So like once they reach a certain level of performance, if they can get a bonus or something. And also giving the employees more authority and like feel like they're making decisions and that they're a part of the decision-making role, so they feel valuable.
And that they're listened to too.
Yeah.
And also, I think that a solution could be like having meetings or more meetings with like a big group of people, like especially a management team.
Like for transparency reasons?
Yeah,
like,
because there's
everybody knows
clearly
what's going on.
lack of communication there.
So
Right.
Helen's not making decisions just on her own.
Right. So we can I think that we can kind of group those together, and like increase transparency through like meetings and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think that would kind of that in itself would give the employees more like authority. They would have a say in certain things. Anything else? I was kind of thinking that maybe Helen could like take a step back for a few months and bring in. I mean, I know that we are technically supposed to be doing that, but Helen could step back and bring in another CEO or person to act as CEO, like an interim one, and basically fix the problems, and then she can kind of shape her new authority position after that person.
So she doesn't have like too much authority. is what
Right.
you're saying. Yeah. So
Or
kind
CEO.
of divvy up.
Checks and balances,
Yeah.
basically. All right, do you want to focus on any more?
All right, so when I was reading it, they said that she kind of decreased the lunch break. So I was like thinking maybe you kind of increase the lunch break time, and that would probably improve employee happiness maybe.
Yeah. Okay, we can write that down. Sure. All right, so next, we just have to evaluate the possible solutions, kind of match them up with our criteria, and we can basically just go through each one and put checks next to the criteria, and if they don't match up, then they're out. But what's the first one that we have?
Employee incentives program.
All right, so would that increase employee satisfaction?
I think it could.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Do we think that we could get that implemented by the end of the quarter?
I think so.
What about the cost for that one? Because
That's
I know
going to be
that-
hard to, you're not going to be able to keep that.
That's questionable.
Because it depends on their performance, but like,
Also
if they
depends on the
do,
incentive.
if they do get that performance and you have to like pay them monetary, then it could be a high cost depending on how much the incentive is.
Right, so maybe not that one, because we're thinking that, and especially long term, if this incentive program stays long term, then it's probably most definitely going to exceed that cost. I think short term it wouldn't, but what's the next solution that we have?
More work authority.
More work authority. So would that increase the employee satisfaction?
Yes.
Definitely think so.
They feel like
Just
they're more
because
part of the team.
Yeah, if you feel like you're part of the team, you're gonna want to work together. And,
Right.
Yeah, a lot more motivation.
We can definitely do that by the end of the quarter, and I don't really think that costs much. It's just
It's honestly.
trust and allowing people to do their job.
Yeah, and just kind of fitting it into the schedule. So that one is a good solution. What's the next one?
Increasing transparency through meetings, but we kind of group that in with more work
Yeah.
authority and just increasing communication.
Right.
And then also increase the lunch break.
So
I
that
think
would, yeah, that would totally increase employee satisfaction.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
My
want?
lunch break was cut. And end of the quarter, we could do that right now, and then low cost. I guess cost could come into question, but
I think a cost probably would definitely, because, I mean, that gives you
There's a lot of other
more
factors,
like
though,
a
with
leisure
it.
time kind
And
of.
less time.
Less time
actually
producing.
yeah.
but if like say it's like only cut by 30 minutes.
Production wasn't really changing, but it was getting worse anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Like, I'd rather have someone focus that 100% of the time that they're working, and then if we
Yeah.
take away that 30 minutes, that'll make them more lethargic and just kind of pissed off throughout the day, because it just
Right.
it sucks.
Right. All right, so that one is probably a good solution as well. So we
Yeah.
have two that fit all of our criteria. It's
The more work authority and increasing lunch break.
so we need to kind of decide which one we think would be better. And I think with the more work authority, that one's, it sounds really broad, but I think it is kind of specific.
Yeah.
Basically just giving them a say in more just issues when there's a problem. They take into account everyone's opinion, not just one person's.
The increase in employee satisfaction from doing that as opposed to giving a longer lunch break is a lot higher if you were to divvy up. Like
Yeah, I'd agree too.
authority.
I don't think.
So I think that would be the best solution.
Okay, awesome. So,
And
have-
cost doesn't come into question at all with that.
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It's just fitting into
Yeah.
the schedule, so that's really good. So our goal we decided on our goal at the beginning of this, and it was to discuss the problems faced by Bowers Machine Parts and develop a plan to decrease turnover. Do we think that this solution will decrease turnover?
Definitely think so.
I think so.
Yeah, the happier the employees are, the more inclined they'll be to stay.
And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to work somewhere where I feel useless. I want to feel like I'm a part of the team and actually contributing.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's really important in the workplace, because if you feel like you're not getting anything out of it or putting anything into it, then and I think that's when the long-term employees started leaving and stuff, because they just,
Also, I want a boss who I can give advice to and actually listen to them, not just have
Mhm.
them bored.
yeah, there's no real fulfillment coming in. All right, so I think we definitely met our goal, and we did a great job with that. So I'll relay this information to Bowers Machine Parts, and thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
so-